When future generations write the history of the construction equipment industry, the chapter dedicated to ADT manufacturer Rokbak will likely be very short. The Rokbak name was applied to the former Terex trucks line in September 2021, and now, less than 5 years later, it's been announced that company owner Volvo is to pull down the shutters. To the employees of Rokbak, this will be devastating news, although hopefully their unquestioned talent will secure them new positions very soon, possibly even within the wider Volvo group. But to the wider construction equipment world, the disappearance of a big name manufacturer will feel like deja vu all over again. Rokbak is not the first name we've lost, and it surely won't be the last. In fact, it's not even the first off-highway truck manufacturer we've lost. Anyone remember Euclid? Aveling Barford? Beyond that, and beyond the trucks, think of all the plant names from the past that are no longer with us. Alice Chalmers, Barbara Green, Bucyrus, Hymac, O&K, Priestman. Now let's think about all the new names that have burst onto the scene in the past decade. Now, I don't mean companies like Lugong, Sany, Sunward and XCMG. They're new to the UK, but they're not actually new companies. Can you think of any new construction equipment manufacturers launched in the past 10 years? The past 20? The past 30? I'll save you the trouble. I checked. And in truth, there really hasn't been any. There's been a few rebrands, Atlas Copco becoming Epiroc, Doosan morphing into Devolon. But there is truly nothing new under the construction equipment sun. Well, that's not strictly true. There is something new. Consolidation. We're all familiar with the names like Bomag, Dynapac and Mecalac. They're all owned by the Fayat group. Ham, Vogler, Kleemann, Wirtgen, all part of John Deere. If you really want to understand the journey of acquisition and consolidation, you only have to look at Bobcat. Bobcat began as the Milrow Manufacturing Company. In 1969, Milrow was bought by Clark Equipment. In 1995, Clark was bought by Ingersoll Rand. In 2007, Ingersoll Rand and Bobcat were purchased by Doosan Infracore. Remarkably, Bobcat has emerged from all of these changes in ownership stronger and is probably one of the sector's most aggressive brands. It's transitioned from being that skid steer company to a full-line industrial power, thanks at least in part to being part of a larger concern. This current consolidation of the global construction equipment sector is driven by a perfect storm of economic necessity and technological disruption. While the pursuit of profit is the primary engine, the modern landscape has made it nearly impossible for mid-sized independent manufacturers to survive without the shield of a larger group. To compete with titans like Caterpillar and Komatsu, companies must now navigate three massive barriers to entry that only scale can overcome. The industry is currently undergoing its most significant technological shift since the invention of hydraulics, the move to autonomous, connected and electric, or ACE. Developing a battery electric excavator or a fully autonomous skid steer requires millions in software engineering and battery chemistry research. A specialist manufacturer simply doesn't have the R&D budget to develop these proprietary systems from scratch. But by joining a group, brands gain access to shared technology stacks, allowing them to modernize their product lines without risking bankruptcy. Contractors and rental houses increasingly prefer to deal with full-line suppliers. They want to buy their excavators, dozers and loaders from a single source with a unified parts logistic network and a single financing arm. That one-stop shop model creates a massive disadvantage for standalone or niche players. Consolidation allows smaller brands to be bundled into a massive portfolio. Think of John Deere's acquisition of Wirtgen. Deere didn't just buy a factory, they bought a way to offer their customers a complete road building solution. And competing with Caterpillar and Komatsu now also means competing with the rising big three from China, Sany, XCMG and Zoomlion. These firms benefit from massive state-backed scaling and lower production costs. For European and American mid-tier brands, consolidation, frankly, is a survival defense. Ultimately, it's no longer enough to build a better machine. In 2026, success depends upon building a better ecosystem. Smaller companies aren't disappearing because their products are poor. They're being absorbed because the cost of playing the game, managing global emission standards, telematics data, and autonomous software is simply too high to pay alone. Consolidation is the industry's way of ensuring that historic engineering expertise isn't lost. Rather, it's uploaded into a larger, more resilient corporate motherboard. The closure of Rokbak is sad, but maybe the demise of the motherwell-based ADT maker is a reminder to cherish the diversity of manufacturers we see on site today, to take a moment to appreciate the brands we know and love. Because in this climate of relentless consolidation, the name on the chassis today may be gone tomorrow. And once they're gone for good.